Eastern Kentucky. This is WYMT Mountain News at 5:30.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. The Senate continues to cycle through confirmation hearings to get ready for next week when President-elect Donald Trump is sworn in and the new administration takes over. Today, climate and tariffs were the hot topics senators wanted to talk about. CBS's Natalie Brand has the latest from Capitol Hill.
Across 4 Senate hearing rooms, President-elect Trump's cabinet picks for Treasury Secretary, Department of the Interior, the EPA, and Housing and Urban Development testified under oath.
The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Former New York Congressman Lee Zeldin, selected to lead the Environmental Protection Agency, was grilled by Democratic senators on climate change.
I believe that climate change is real.
But Zeldin defended President-elect Trump's past comments on the issue.
I think that he's concerned about the economic costs of some policies where there's a debate and a difference of opinion between parties.
I would respectfully disagree with you. I think he has called it a hoax time and time and time again.
Trump's pick for Interior Secretary, former North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum, says there's a risk to the environment and security if America doesn't lead in energy production.
When energy production is restricted in America, it doesn't reduce demand. It just shifts productions to countries like Russia and Iran, whose autocratic leaders not only don't care at all about the environment, but they use their revenues from energy sales to fund wars against us and our allies.
Trump's Treasury Secretary nominee Scott Bessent testified he would support increasing sanctions on Russia over the war in Ukraine.
The hedge fund billionaire also faced tough questions about Trump's plan to cut taxes and implement tariffs.
All through the campaign, we heard they weren't, that foreign countries were going to pay it. I think that's baloney. It's going to be paid for by workers and small businesses.
The history of tariffs and tariff theory, optimal tariff theory, does not support what you're saying.
Former NFL football player who also served in Congress, Scott Turner, nominated to lead HUD, said the country needs millions more homes to address the housing crisis. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
The confirmation hearings continue Friday with Governor Kristi Noem, Trump's Homeland Security Secretary nominee. Noem is expected to play a big role in Trump's border security plans. One person is dead after a crash in Carter County. Police say it happened on the 2100 block of US 60 in the Olive Hill area. Police say the driver of a pickup truck was thrown out of his truck and onto the roadway. The person's name has not been released. Rudy Giuliani has reached a settlement with the 2 Georgia election workers he defamed after the 2020 presidential election. Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss have been trying to collect on the $150 million settlement they won in the defamation suit, but they've had trouble collecting some of Giuliani's personal property despite multiple court orders. Giuliani was about to face trial and potentially lose his $3.5 million Florida condo. Tik Tok may get some extra ticks of the clock to avoid going dark. The social media app could find a lifeline in President-elect Donald Trump. Right now, it will be banned if it cannot secure an American buyer by Sunday. But some sources say Trump is considering giving TikTok more time to cut a deal. Now, that's far from certain, even though he has recently said he wants to keep the video sharing app alive. He supported a TikTok ban during his first administration. A new poll shows Donald Trump is enjoying some of the most positive ratings of his political career as he prepares to enter his second term on Monday. The CNN poll conducted by SQL Server Reporting Services found Trump has far more positive sentiment behind him than when he last occupied the White House. According to the poll, the public broadly thinks it is likely he'll fulfill some of the economic and immigration policy promises central to his campaign. President Biden and his wife Jill have a trip to the West Coast coming up. Sources say the couple will head to California following the inauguration of President-elect Donald Trump. One source says the Bidens could spend time in Santa Ynez. The Bidens vacationed there last summer. After this trip, the Bidens are expected to spend most of their time in Delaware, where they have 2 houses. At least 25 people have died in the wildfires in Southern California. Reports say the strongest winds are weakening, giving some firefighters a break. During his Team Kentucky update today, Governor Andy Beshear and First Lady Brittany Beshear expressed their support and love for those affected by the fires. Governor Beshear added that the state would be ready to help, saying, quote, "If we are called on to help, we will be there."
Well, as advertised, we had temperatures today in the 40s. Some places even got into the low 50s. We'll talk about that coming up in just a couple seconds. Here's a look at live pinpoint Doppler radar. All is quiet across eastern Kentucky. Now, earlier this morning, we had a few little stray snow showers push through, but that was it. We started the day off with cloudy skies, then the clouds dissipated throughout the day. Made it to 50 in Middlesboro, 50 in Jacksboro, Harlan, oh so close to 50, made it to 49. 41 was the high in Manchester, 45 in Hazard, as well as Jackson. And right now we're still seeing temperatures in the low to mid 40s, upper 30s over towards Louisa, as well as Logan and Moorhead. Now here's some good news. The temperature change over the past 24 hours, we're between 9 degrees to 17 degrees warmer as compared to 24 hours ago. Remember yesterday we only made it to 28 degrees. We made it to 45 here in Hazard, which is 1 degree above normal. So there's the first day for the year they've had a temperature above normal. Now for tonight, we'll see an overnight low of 27. That's where we should be for this time of year anyway. We'll see temperatures hovering around freezing by the 10 o'clock time frame. We'll go to 27 by the 7 o'clock hour. Now, as the saying goes, all good things must come to an end. And I'll tell you when we're going to drop the temperature substantially with highs in the teens in the first alert forecast in a few minutes. Steve.
And despite the warmer temperatures, as you can see on the cameras, still some snow out there, and several schools will be closed again tomorrow. You can see that list at the bottom of your screen or on WYMT.com and the WYMT News app. Israeli media is reporting that the Gaza hostage ceasefire deal is set to go ahead and that a last-minute dispute with Hamas was resolved. The Israeli cabinet is expected to vote on the deal tomorrow, with the first of the hostages set to be released Sunday. CBS's Rami Inocencio has the latest from Tel Aviv.
In Khan Yunis, a displaced Gazan expressed joy that the war may soon be over.
Why I am so happy about the ceasefire? Because all of this are going to end.
And in Israel, feelings of anxiety and the hope that the fragile deal will hold and that the hostages will start to come back.
We were very hopeful, but we have this concern that something will go wrong along the way and not all hostages will be released.
Do you allow yourself to hope? No.
I wish I did, and I bless the times that I do, but I don't often enough. It's such a hard situation.
The last time Hamas freed hostages was more than a year ago in exchange for Palestinians in Israeli prisons. The logistics of this deal will be extremely complex. Even Hamas getting hostages safely to a handover point will present significant security challenges. U.S. officials are hopeful that any more setbacks will get resolved quickly.
I'm very confident that this is moving forward, and we'll see the start of implementation of the agreement on Sunday.
Israel's bombing of Gaza has not stopped, even as talks continue. Overnight, an IDF airstrike hit a house in Gaza City. Another hit a mosque, captured by our CBS News team in Gaza. Yet, at the same time, hope lies with humanitarian aid trucks on the move, on the Egyptian side of Gaza's border. Food, water, and medical supplies waiting to get in. But first, waiting for that deal to be signed. Rami Inocencio, CBS News, Tel Aviv.
Israel's hardline national security minister said he would resign if the Israeli cabinet approves the ceasefire deal, saying in a televised statement that releasing Palestinian prisoners and withdrawing from strategic areas in Gaza would, quote, erase the achievements of the war. Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30.